The eThekwini Municipality has applied to be declared a disaster zone following the recent civil unrest. More than 40,000 businesses in Durban were impacted by the rampant looting and the torching of properties. Our reporter Karinda Jagmohan has that story.
With the unemployment rate already at an all-time high, the disruption to economic activities in the province has further threatened job security.
Yes, we always talk about poverty, inequality and unemployment. This has really shown what the reality is out there.
An assessment is underway to determine whether placing the worst affected parts of KZN under a state of disaster is necessary.
The city itself had applied for a state of disaster. But what then has happened is that the Department of COPTA, which is responsible for deciding on that, has decided that not to do that in piecemeal fashion, eThekwini and then other districts. They are doing the entire provincial assessment, which we hope that by the end of this week we will know. So that when they declare the disaster, they declare the disaster in all the areas at once.
Meanwhile, businesses part of the Greater Westmead Association are hoping to open their doors again soon. They also plan to use this tragedy to bridge the gap between big companies and local impoverished residents.
More guns will not solve the problem. So we can bring in as much private security as needed, but the strategy revolves around inclusivity, making sure that there's community empowerment, community upliftment, ensuring that the communities around this area understand and fall in love with the business precinct, making sure that the business precinct is actually benefiting not just the business owners, but also ensuring that the communities as well are empowered. Going from local employment, trying to see which areas the local communities can actually chip into the business, be either through procurement and other issues of such nature. But more than that, it's about ensuring that there is local employment.
Business owners are anticipating a further financial crisis across industries and communities.
What we've got to bring into account is the 1.5 weeks of business interruption where a whole precinct, affected and non-affected businesses, were shut. That value is actually the one thing that hasn't been audited yet. And that effect is only going to be felt in weeks and months to come.
The economic cluster of ministers are expected to visit KZN soon, while this group of business owners have already started their groundwork.
We're looking at such things as sporting tournaments. We're looking at issues of social cohesion. How can we bring the communities together? How do you remove the stereotypes that exist, the them and us scenario, where communities look at business as them and business vice versa? How do you reach a place where everybody understands each other?
It's actually removing the barricades that are in our minds, not the barricades that are in the roads of Westmead and Pinetown.
For Newsroom Africa on Channel 405, I'm Karinda Jagmohan with Pilani Zuma in Durban.